I'm Stacey Tuschel, and I'm a Christian business owner, and I've been in business now for almost 23 years, and my business generates over 8 figures in annual revenue. The question I get asked a lot is it possible to create a large amount of wealth and still be a good Christian? As a Christian business owner, we get sent so many mixed signals, right? Is wealth bad? Does God want us to have it? Is He the one blessing us? We hear scripture like, the love of money is the root of all evil, and we feel horrible, right? The Bible does not label money as evil. In fact, there are several prominent people like Abraham, Job, Solomon, who were very wealthy, and they are portrayed positively in the Bible. Their wealth was seen as a blessing from God. So here are 7 things that I did to hit over $10 million in annual revenue as a God-led business owner. Number 1, I let go of control and gave it to God. Let me tell you a story. I have been a Christian. I mean, I was baptized like within weeks of being born. Like I have gone to a Christian grade school. I grew up very like in my faith, okay? But I have definitely had moments of doubt or disbelief. And I remember I was having a really tough time in business. And I was in this weird situation where I kept saying to God, if you're real, then show me this, or give me a sign, like show me something. I was just struggling. I was just literally miserable in my business. And then finally, I remember I had this like huge epiphany. Like I was about to say, if you're real, show me this or give me a sign. And I was like, hold up. I know you're real. Whether you show me or not, I know you're real. Like I need to stop saying that. And I just said, I literally don't know what to do. Please help me. Please help me. And it truly felt like such a break in the way that I was running my business, because I was running my business, me trying to fix it, me trying to hustle, me trying, right? And I had to start to realize like, I'm not doing this alone, right? So how can I stop freaking out and stop fearing, like getting scared, getting anxious, getting, all of the things, sleeping up, like waking up in the middle of the night. And finally, I just said like, I know you're real. Like, just help me get through this. And literally within 2 weeks, we went from just struggling. Within 2 weeks, the business took off. Literally, if I could show you a screenshot, it would be like revenue is here, revenue went to there. It was unbelievable. And I really feel like I just let go. And me letting go, right, versus like desperately holding on and grasping to everything and trying to control everything was not working. And I just remember saying like, I surrender. Please help me. I need it. And it's not surprising that we blew up shortly after that. I've had some moments since then, and I will go back to that same thing of like, I'm usually like walking and just like being present. And I'll say, what lesson are you trying to teach me? And if it's a repeat, like it just keeps happening month after month, I'm like, what did I not learn last month or last week that you want me to hear now? What do you want me to take away? Number 2, serve, not sell. So I built a product that I believe changes people's lives and not just focus on making a quick buck. I am constantly reminding the team, watch the way we're phrasing things like, oh, we only got 62 consults. I'm like, no. Those are 62 real business owners who need us, right? So maybe our goal is 100 and we get 62 and we can just feel defeated. But we have to remember, we are here to serve. We are not here to sell. We are here to serve. And when we focus on serving them, right, everything else just multiplies. Anytime I've done something where I actually did it to try to make money, like really just going, oh, wow. Like I remember back in the day, I was at this dance studio convention and all of a sudden everybody was talking about the photo and video booth business and how it was taking off, and literally dance studios were buying these and like having a side hustle. And I did it too. And I got in it just for the money. And it was actually really good money. I think you bought the equipment for $1,000, but then you charged $1,000 per wedding. Really was very, very profitable. And I hated it. And I ended up selling my equipment like 8 months later, and I was like, take it. And I'll tell you, I've started businesses because I was like, I want to make more money. I want to XYZ, right? Those businesses never did well. And I don't have any of them today. But when I want to just serve, when I love something, like I love my dance and music school. I truly love dance and I love what it did for me when I was a child. Because I love it so much, I feel like I'm serving, I'm not selling, and those businesses explode. Number 3 is stewardship and generosity. Christians are called to be stewards, right? We are stewards of our resources. We are recognizing that everything we own, right? We are entrusted to them by God. So So being good with my money, right? I really want to make sure that I'm not taking any of this for granted and that I understand like I have been given a very large responsibility and I need to be really good with it. So for instance, we have 50 plus full-time people in Well-Oiled alone. They have families that are counting on me, counting on getting that paycheck every other Friday, making sure that the business is stable. I have to make sure that I'm not just bringing in all this money and blowing it or not being responsible, making sure that we have cash reserves, that we have enough money extra in the bank, that if something were to happen, I can jump in and be the bank for the business. So understanding like, how can I be really respectful of what I have been given? And then another piece of that is, how can I be generous? Like, I think we pay people very well. We purposely pay people. Most of our company has a base pay plus performance pay. And that to me is like, you will be rewarded for the value you bring to the company. And I always tell people like, there is no cap on the amount of money you can earn here, because I want to be so generous with the money that we are given, right? No one is saying I'm not paid well, right? Because if they're like, I don't make enough money, it's like, okay, well, let me show you, right, how you can make more and what you can do so the company can feel it and pay you that money, right? So we're generous not only with our team and paying them well, giving them an opportunity to earn as much as they want to earn. I always say we give our team the opportunity to build a mini business within our business because they control how much they make, which is exciting, but also generous in just our time, right? We just had this event and one of my leaders told me something she did before the event for all the attendees in person that they did not pay for. They were not expecting. She just did it and she did it in her off time. I'm like, wow, right? That is her being generous with her time, giving back. And another thing too is, not only do I want to be generous, right? Not just like donating to causes and certain charities and with my team and all of that, right? But I also wanted to model it and also have my team have the opportunity to model with each other. So this was a really cool story. And it just kind of shows you the culture of our company. We took our leadership team to Nashville and we went to the Grand Ole Opry and we had to go to like the box office to get our tickets. And for some reason, they could not find my tickets and it was taking forever. And I was at this counter forever. And I was getting super annoyed because we were about to miss the show. And after all is said and done, I'm like, oh, that was a God thing. So as I'm sitting there, kind of being forced to sit there and figure this out, I don't know what's happening by my leaders, but something's happening. And all of a sudden I leave and I'm like, okay, what just happened? And there was a woman and her son who had some sort of disability. I don't know if he was even verbal. And she was trying to buy a ticket. It happened to be a Christian, I think it's called For King and Country. It's a Christian like duo brother. This woman was at the counter and she was like, what are your cheapest tickets? Like, how can we pay? I think they were like $100 a piece. And she didn't have enough money. And she was trying to figure out like what she could do. And she couldn't let him go by himself. And she promised her son that she was going to get him tickets and she just couldn't afford it. And obviously the lady at the counter is like, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. So my leaders are sitting there waiting for me. And one of my leaders slid her credit card over and said, I want to take care of it. Okay. And this woman is like in tears, literally saying to my leader, like, I prayed this morning. Like she actually said, can I put it on my credit card? But I know I have bills. Like I know I have to pay XYZ in the next couple of days. Like she was literally debating, like, do they have enough money for food? And the fact that my leader paid for it and just covered it, right? It's not just about me being generous, right? But it's the fact that we're attracting people like that in our organization who are like, no problem, let me get strangers 2 tickets to go to the show. We can't do that without bringing in that kind of wealth, right? If I didn't pay my leader good money, she would never have been able to be like, here's my credit card, right? So it's just like such a cool thing that we get to do and we get to give back. And yeah, I totally believe that was a God thing. I think the reason they didn't have my tickets is because it was like, we needed to stall so we could sit there and hear that conversation and be able to help that woman. And it was pretty cool. And literally just walking away, giving my leader a hug and crying and just so grateful. So it was just an amazing little moment. Number 4, I definitely prioritize integrity and ethical practices. It is important to me to operate my business with honesty and fairness. And that goes to my clients, that goes to my team, contractors that I'm working with. I mean, I want to operate that with anybody that comes into contact with my organization and myself. I'm asking myself things like, how would I like to be treated in that situation? Like, what would fair and right feel like if I was on the receiving end? When we mess up, How do I want to show up? How do I want to go above and beyond and make it right? These are all things that are playing a massive part. And I swear to you, the way we are treating the people we come into contact with, right? They are spreading the word. They are referring their friends. They are sticking around. They're coming back. They're renewing 2, 3, 4, 5 times because of the way that we are showing up. That is making a massive difference in our business for sure. Number 5 would have to be showing up even when you want to quit, right? There has been so many times where I'm like, I don't know how I'm getting out of this. I have made a risky move that is not panning out and my bank account isn't looking good and just wanting to kind of give up, but being obedient to this being my calling. Like, I really believe that God has chosen me to be in this position to help small business owners increase their resilience. Like, I know that one of my superpowers is just like helping people get through it, getting them motivated, getting them inspired, getting them to take action, getting them out of whatever funk they're in, right? I know that I was put here to do that. So even when it's tough, even when I'm like, I make enough money to quit and never work another day in my life, I am still here to do my calling. I am here to show up every day and to serve. And that is something that I don't think I would be doing. I think I would be one of those people that have made enough money. We sell and we just live off of the money. And for me, it's just, this is a God thing. I am here for a reason. These are times where, the pandemic, like, wow, right? Really just being so scared, not knowing what to do, having the business be physically closed and not being able to sell for 8 weeks, right? And then people are coming back, but they don't want their children. I was so much stronger after the recession of 2008. And I realized, well, we're really lucky because when a recession hits, we are one of the last things that parents cut out. Parents want to give their children everything. So parents would stop spending for themselves, but they kept spending on their children. And we were really lucky that we were not hit hard in 2008. Literally, I remember somebody saying to me, I will turn off my utilities before I stop paying for her dance classes. Now, I'm sure she was joking, but it's like, that is the kind of behavior that was happening. But when the pandemic hit, it was the opposite reaction. This was their baby, and they did not want their baby in a public place when they didn't know what was going on. So even when we were able to open the doors, people were like, I'm sorry. I mean, I was one of those people. I'm like, my kids are not going to gymnastics and touching all the stuff and having all these germs, right? It was really, really scary. I'm like, are we going to make it through this? Like, how long does this take? How much cash do I have to get through it? There are so many times that I could have easily said, let's just be done. Let's just wrap up. Let's close up. Let's sell. Let's cash this in. And for me, it's just like, stay the course. Like, even if I decide at some point that it's time for me to let go of the studios or sell well oiled or whatever it is, there will never be a time that I don't have a new passion that I want to pursue. Because even in dance, like, it was me showing up and giving these kids the opportunity that I had, that I loved. Like, dance was such an amazing experience for me growing up. There was just so much goodness that came from it. And I wanted to give other people that experience. Same thing with Well Oiled. It's like, okay, now I've learned how to build this business and people are struggling. And I'm looking at them like, just do what I did. Like, let me help you, right? So I think that's been a big part of stick with it, right? You don't have to be the best at something, but if you just stay with it, you will outlast so many competitors. You can't help but succeed. Number 6, kind of a repeat, but I want to go a little bit deeper here. And that is really defining what my calling is, even though I've pivoted over the years. So I've already been doing this now. It'll be 23 years just in a couple months. I've had different products, different businesses, different niches, right? And through all of those hard pivots, I've always come back to like, what is truly my strength? What is my uniqueness? Like, what has God given me that I need to lean into? And this last iteration where we pivoted from what we were calling foot traffic formula into well-oiled operations, I just kept asking people, when you think of me, what do you think of? What do you think I'm amazing at? What do you think I've been gifted with? And it was like, everything people were saying pretty much is well-oiled today, right? They would say, you know how to build a team, you know how to manage, you know how to get the best out of people, you know how to, right? And I just heard it over and over and over. And I'm like, okay. Sometimes it's hard for you to see what am I called to do, but it's really easy for everybody else to notice and use those people. Go like, ask, right? Ask your friends, ask your neighbors, ask your current clients, right? People that have known you for a long time. You'll be shocked to see what comes out of that conversation. And that's another reason too. I don't serve people right now. If you're a business owner and you are at $0 in revenue, you have not really gotten started yet. I don't serve brand new businesses. And some people get really upset about that. And I totally get it. You're drinking my Kool-Aid, and then I go to sell and you find out you don't qualify. And maybe that's upsetting, right? I totally get it. However, when I look at my calling, I'm not just saying, what am I called to do? I'm asking, who am I called to serve? And I will tell you this. I am not the best person to teach newbies, okay? I will tell you, as a dance studio owner, there are teachers that are meant to be with the 3-year-olds. And there are teachers that should never, ever be in that classroom. It's not that I look down on a newbie. I am looking at them like they are these precious 3-year-olds. And I'm like, listen, I am not the teacher you want to learn from. I have no patience. I'm going to act like you should have figured this out by now because I'm going to totally forget that it took me X amount of years. I just don't have the skill set to do it. So the reason I exclude certain business owners is not because I think differently of them. I'm saying it's not my calling. I think there are people, like I actually heard somebody say, I love the newbies. I love giving them fresh ideas. They're so excited. I love helping them brainstorm. I'm like, okay, like there are different people, right, that are equipped to do different things. And I don't have to be everything to everyone. I really believe I am called to help somebody who already has it started. Like they've gotten through the really, really hard part of just like figuring out what am I selling. But then there's a whole nother obstacle, right, that comes their way of now I've got to scale and build a team. And that has just always been really fun for me. And that's the thing too, with a newbie, they're not looking for building a team. They don't want to build a team. I want to work with people that want to build a team. I love my team. I couldn't imagine doing this without them. So for me, I know that I'm called to serve that group of individuals. And again, when you stay in alignment with your calling, right, you're not pushing, you're not like forcing yourself to like climb this mountain. It's like you're rolling down the mountain and the momentum is just coming with you because people see, oh, wow, she really is for that person. And let me tell you, when I say publicly, if I'm ever on a training and I invite people to book a call and I say, listen, unfortunately, if you're not over, you have to be over 150,000 in annual revenue to apply. Okay. Let me tell you, the people under 150 are not that happy, but the people over are like, thank you. I respect you even more. People have said to me that can't book a call. They've said to me, I respect you so much more that I'm trying to give you my credit card and you are saying no. Like that makes me like really realize you're not in it for the money, right? You're really trying to look for the right person. And I love that. Okay. Number 7 is a big one. So I had to align my calendar with my calling. I was in a season of just nonstop, go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. And I go to church and in our little bulletin, there's always like a little sentence that's going to summarize the sermon. Okay. And it was like something, I think it was like Jesus said, you need to labor from your rest and you need to labor for your rest. And that hit me hard. Because I always thought I'm not tired, so I don't need to rest. And I felt like I could keep going, going, going. And the sermon was talking about how like you need to just take a minute to like reset. So you're so refueled to then go. So I was thinking, I don't need to labor for my rest. But what I was grasping was, wow, but I do need to labor for my rest. I went home. I immediately actually went on Instagram and I like shared, I ripped out the little part of the bulletin and I kept it with me in my wallet for a long, long time. Just because I knew I was not in alignment with my calling in my calendar. I was a yes person. I was trying to say yes to everybody, everything, every product. I just felt like I was all over the place, right? And I think it's hard because it's like when you're somebody who is driven, when you are a high achiever, you want to go, 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 you can get really, really caught up in it. And for me, I had to get really clear on like, what do I actually want and why do I want it? And anytime I want something, it's like, is it my idea or did somebody else do it? And now I just think I have to do it because they're doing it, right? We're growing our business so crazy. I mean, we've already hit over $10 million in the last 12 months. I think by the end of 2025, we'll probably be at 15 million for the year. And I want to go to 30 million. I want to go to 100 million. And again, it's like, wait, would a good Christian say that? Would a good Christian be like, am I greedy because I want to do that? And here's the deal. My husband said to me, what are you going to do or buy or how will your life change when we're making double or triple the amount of money? And I said, we're building a home right now. That home, I guarantee you, I will live in that home for that'll be my forever home in Wisconsin. So I'm like, we already have the home. Like we already can afford the home, right? I have my dream car. I have all these things, right? There's nothing I'm missing. I do not need other materialistic things. In fact, if I lost these materialistic things, I would be okay. I'm not attached to anything, okay? When he said that, he's like, so then why do we need to go to 30 million or 100 million if we're not spending differently? And I was like, because it's really not about the money. If I sold Well Oiled and somebody offered me $50 million for Well Oiled, and I would never have to work another day in my life, and I would have the most amazing life, right? Like I could do or buy anything I would ever want, I would keep working because it's not work. It truly is my calling. I love it. I get excited. I want to contribute. And the reason I think 30 million or 100 million is cool is not because of the money, but it's because I want to see what I'm capable of. I want to see, can I do it? I know I can. Like, I literally know I can. Like, I know that if I continue to surrender and say, lead me, help me, I will be able to do any of that, right? Like, I really do. And I believe you will too. You will be able to do whatever it is that you desire. But it really is just like, no, God has made me like this. He has made me driven. He has made me hungry. He has made me intense about every topic that I love, right? Like, that's how he has wired me. So I don't think he's up there thinking she needs to slow down or she needs to, like, this is how I was wired. And I think a lot of us, like, we don't know how to act. We don't know how to behave. We don't know if we should say big numbers because, people are going to think we're greedy. And trust me, I have left church and heard sermons where I'm like, wow, okay, we sound like the worst people in the world. They definitely make the rich sound, and it can be really, really difficult. And I will tell you, I choose to surround myself with people that have similar beliefs in this mindset. I don't need to hear from a Christian who is, making 50,000 or 100,000 a year telling me that I shouldn't be gravitating towards this and that I am being greedy and that you can say whatever it is. You can blow up the comments on YouTube and go for it. It will not change my mind. Like, there is nothing you can say. There is no scripture you can bring me that is going to tell me what I'm doing is wrong, because I'm going to bring you back 10 additional scriptures where I'm telling you, look what God says about wealth. Look what God says in the Bible, or how he's blessed certain people in the Bible. My friend actually referenced Deuteronomy 28. Go read that entire chapter. It is hard to read that chapter and not think, wow, God wants me to be wealthy. God wants to bless me. God wants to allow me this abundance. There's just nothing you can say to convince me otherwise. I just hope that I'm convincing somebody who is a Christian business owner who's like, am I being too much? Like, am I wanting too much? Is this bad? Am I evil? Am I not getting into heaven because I am one of these people he's talking about? That's not what I believe, okay? And you get to choose what you want to believe. Okay, one thing that I thought was really funny was I was listening to somebody's podcast, and this was years ago, and I can't remember what it was, but it was talking about how, like, the hustle culture, and I'm talking about like aligning my calendar and working too much, working too little, etc. And people have a lot of opinions about, should you work Saturday or Sunday, or should you take off, or should you not? Should you be going all in? And this person was like, God built the heavens and the earth and the animals and the people and all of this, right? And on the seventh day, he rested. And they're like, it's so funny because you've done like nothing all week and you think you need a half day on Friday and Saturday and Sunday off. And there are some people who should not be resting as much as they're resting, right? Like when you're playing a God level type game, right? Yeah, you can absolutely take off on your weekend or your Sunday or whatever it is, but like you need to play full out, right? So I'm also not sitting here being like, okay, I can do nothing and God's just going to take care of me. I am absolutely putting in the action. I am putting in the energy, the effort. I am aligning my calendar with how I feel what's best for myself and my family as well. So for me in this stage right now in this season, I am playing full out Monday through Friday, and I take off the evenings and I spend with my family, and I take off Saturday, Sunday. That feels really good to me. I do not work on Saturday, Sunday. The one thing that might pop up is if we're in the middle of something really, really big and I'm past the deadline and I need to pick up a Saturday, or I need to wake up and do a little bit extra. I haven't done that in, honestly, it could even be years. Like it's been a long, long time. So before though, man, I was pushing and I was doing things that I guarantee were not in alignment with my calling. So just something to think about and reflect, because the more I get in alignment with my calendar, the more the business continues to take off. Just because I can do something doesn't mean I should do something. Just because somebody is asking to pick my brain and I should be a good Christian and support and help doesn't mean I need to, right? Whenever somebody like wants to pick my brain or, well, can I take you to coffee? I'm like, listen, I am being called, right, to serve. I have some big priorities that God has placed on my heart that are on my calendar for the next 90 days. Unfortunately, I don't have time to sit with you for coffee, but I've got 1,000 YouTube videos where I've given so much content, so much knowledge, so much for free, right? I have given, I continue to give. And for me, I feel like the more I give, the more that things continue to happen. It's one of the reasons we've scaled so fast. So don't feel obligated either. I think sometimes we think, well, we need to be kind and we need to be good. It's like, listen, if you are asking to pick my brain and you have yet to watch my YouTube videos and try to get as much as you can for free, you're not respecting my time, right? And I want to make sure that I'm really in control of that calendar. So these are 7 strategies that I have used that really has impacted my business, and they're strategies as I'm approaching 15 to 20 million in annual revenue, I'm going to do it. And I'm not concerned about being a good Christian because I'm wealthy, right? The Bible doesn't provide a simple answer regarding wealth. Instead, it just offers examples and guidance on maintaining a heart aligned with God's purposes, right? He puts an emphasis on generosity, on contentment, and the dangers of greed. And I will continue to examine my motives. I'm going to keep asking myself why, get to the root of the why. Am I doing this to serve, or am I doing this to be greedy? Am I doing this to make more money? What am I going to do with that money, right? And for me, it's not about the money. The money isn't what I'm after, right? I'm so grateful. I'm so content. Every morning I wake up, the first thing I do while I'm laying in my bed is I ask myself, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? And I think of the most like random, but a million things. So I'll lay in my bed and I'm like, I'm really grateful for this comfortable bed. I'm grateful that I have a warm bed, a comfortable blanket, comfortable pillow. I'll look around my room. What am I grateful for here? I'm looking at my husband. I'm thinking of my children in the other room. I'm thinking about just the business we've created, the family, the friends we have. I am doing that every morning while in bed. Then I wake up and I go on a walk. And for the first, I would say 30 minutes on my walk, I don't listen to anything. I'm just talking and I'm thinking and I'm talking to God and I'm being grateful and I'm thinking of all the other things of like, why should I feel amazing right now? And it's funny because whenever you're silent, you're not listening to anything and all you're doing is having your thoughts in your head. Sometimes, a lot of times, your thoughts go negative. And the second I catch myself complaining about a team member or being upset about a crazy client or whatever it is, I'm like, hold up. What can I be grateful for in this moment? Okay, maybe I have a crazy client who's like going over the deep end here, but I have clients. Like there was a day that I didn't have clients that I would have just like been in awe that somebody would pay me, right? Always trying to go back to being grateful. And I think that's just a key, is to be grateful and content. It probably should have been one of the 7 things, but be grateful, be content that what God has blessed me with. And I will continue to be faithful and to be grateful as I continue to scale.